mentioned. North American markets started the day up a couple of hundred, then went down a couple of hundred, then back up, and finally down and up. Our dollar is again below 90 cents US, falling more than a cent in value today. The Toronto Stock Exchange rose 225 points. Nice to be able to say that for change, but the Dow Jones in New York finished the day down almost 200. Overseas, everything went only in one direction. Japan's Nikkei index fell almost 10% today. That's its worst day since markets crashed there almost 20 years ago. The losses were so bad in Russia, France, and Indonesia, stock exchanges halted trading altogether. And Britain's government today announced a bailout similar in scope to the one America passed last week. Tara Nelson is in Europe's financial capital tonight with more on the international impact. Tara.
Kevin, a week ago, the British government wasn't even hinting at this kind of bailout. But as the British themselves say, desperate times call for desperate measures. Obviously, it's hoped this will rescue the economy, but it's at the expense of taxpayers.
Hours before the Bank of England opened its doors today, a plan to rescue Britain from the credit crunch was in the works. Blaring from the morning papers before European stock markets opened, a £50 billion or 96 billion Canadian dollar bailout.
This is not a time for conventional thinking or outdated dogma, but for the fresh and innovative intervention that gets to the heart of the problem.
Basically, taxpayer money for 8 of the UK's biggest lenders. The British will essentially own shares in the banks they've helped.
The problems that started in America have now hurt every banking system in every continent of the world.
So it's an absolutely monumental amount of money that's been put into this. What it means for the taxpayer, it's around £2,000 for every person.
Come on, fresh fruit.
Not exactly what taxpayers were hoping to hear.
165, darling.
Dean Cole has manned this fruit stand for 30 years. The market used to be thriving. These days, Dean is feeling the pinch.
As a small businessman, we try to keep our prices as low as we can, but it's still not working. You know, we're working on a small sort of budget or whatever, and it's quite frightening, in fact. Thank you, my love.
Dean's customers admit they're already watching their wallets, but don't know what else the British government could have done.
In the end, people have been greedy, and if people are greedy, they're going to have to live in a different kind of world.
If everyone's in the same boat, I don't think there's anything you can do.
But it's unclear if Britain's plan will actually increase confidence. British and Asian markets closed down today. France suspended trading temporarily, and Russia closed both of its markets until further notice.
At the moment, it's not good at all. It's a real struggle.
The upside of this bailout is that taxpayers could actually make a profit from these bank shares. But like everything in the market, there is no guarantee. And no guarantee it will stem the panic for people just hoping their mortgages and their savings are safe.